Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Vacation orders down at Giuseppe's
Neapolitan. Yeah.
Neapolitan pizza. So I'm with Marcia
Chinapi.
Chinapi.
Yeah.
And his name is Marcy. And tell me a little bit about your family and the history of Giuseppe's.
Sure.
first of all.
Sure.
What family members are really involved in the business today?
Sure. So my great-grandfather and his brother moved here from Italy, and they learned how to bake at a bakery in New Jersey. They went back to Italy to get their families and came back here. One started Petrillo's Bakery, and the other, my grandfather, started Giuseppe's, which was more of a pizzeria. They still focused on bread, but they focused on pizza, pastas, dinners, things like that. They were right across the street from Kodak on State Street. So, the two brothers, they obviously cared about each other. They came with a very good bread recipe and dough recipe, but they realized because their families were so big, they would have to separate and do their own things. Petrillo's is gone now, but for the most part, it was in business up until like 5 years ago. Not the same family. Our family was out of that business probably 15, 20 years ago. But my great-grandfather passed it down to his kids, who passed it down to my father, and my father's still involved and actually did all the renovation here. My brother Joey he's my younger brother. He's involved in the business. He bakes all of our breads, makes all of our doughs, pastries, everything like that. And then I have two cousins involved as well. One cousin is my sous chef over at our gate store, takes care of all the cooking and making sure that the takeout orders are good. And the other cousin does all the prep work, makes the soups, the sauces, the meatballs, the batch kind of cooking stuff. He's 30 years old and he cooks just like my grandmother, like an old lady. We tell him, yeah. So talent, people, there's a passion for it. It's been in our families forever. So yeah, so that's where we're at now.
No, that's great to see, because I do know a lot of business owners that have built their businesses. Often the kids are like, no, we don't want to do it. And they go to law school, or they do this, or they do something totally different. So it's really a testament to your strength of your family that you're 100 years maybe?
Yeah, 100 years.
90, yeah. Right, so that's really...
So 30 years ago, my father was at a crossroads in his career. He was a contractor, a general contractor. He went to Edison Tech. He learned the trades. He was a carpenter by trade. And that is his true passion, but he needed something that was more stable. 30 years ago, when I was, probably longer, 35 years ago, I was a baby, and he needed something more stable. So the business was almost going to be done. So my grandmother was done, and her brothers and sisters were done. And my father and his brother, Nick, who's no longer involved in the business, decided to take it on, just like I said, for something a little bit more stable. So, yeah.
So, do you have it in your mind that you guys want to open another location, or were you searching for a place, or? I mean, I did read a story somewhere that you came out of Seabreeze after spending the day with your family, and you saw this building, and it was like,
Yeah.
But how what was your process in finding a place?
So over 100 years, we've never had multiple locations, but it's always been a dream of mine to kind of. So this style pizza that we do at this restaurant is much different than the style that we do at the Gate Store. The Gate Store is more of a Rochester style, heavy toppings, thicker dough. Anyway, so kind of reverse a little bit. On Sundays, my dad and my brothers and I we'd be working on things in the back room, and I'd always make a pizza up on Sunday mornings that we would all kind of share. And it'd be something different than we do over at the Gate Store. And this was the recipe, using the same ingredients that were around the business for 100 years. but just kind of repurposing them and kind of tweaking things, maybe leaving the dough in the cooler for an extra day, or and that was what we came up with. And then you just kind of dream and you talk, and you know, on a busy night over at Gates, we'll talk and say, I think we can do this, and just happened we were here and my kids wanted pizza, so I was the one, and my niece and nephews wanted pizza, and I was the one that came out of here and said, now I have to drive all the way to Gates to go pick up pizza and then bring it, and we all met at my house afterwards. And I mean, hamburgers and cheeseburgers, that stuff is awesome, but pizza is like, it's, especially down here, you know, it's like people were kind of looking for something a little bit different coming out of the park. I was that day, so.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. So you've got a captive audience right here when
Yeah.
people leave for the day.
Yeah.
And so, was there a lot of work involved in renovating? Like, what was this before?
This was not good before.
Okay.
So we actually started taking the sheetrock down. My father, so we do renovations occasionally, houses and things like that. My dad's first thing he always says is, we're not going to gut this one. We always gut it. This one was so we pulled sheetrock off the wall and you could see into the parking lot. So this building needed a lot of work. We added on an additional 10 feet off the back of the building. In doing that, we had to dig down for a footing to set up the foundation, and we dug through 4 different types of material: asphalt, concrete, stone, and dirt, to get to what we needed to get to put the footing in. So, in other words, yeah, layers, people patchwork for probably 60 years in this building. It was not good, yeah.
So yeah, definitely this is a beautiful. You guys deserve a beautification award because you really made it.
Yeah.
Something here. So what do you think your great grandparents would think of you opening kind of like a similar store to what they had on the State Street, right?
Yeah.
Back in the day? Be proud? Do you think they're?
Yeah, so I think my grandmother passed in the last few years, but she knew that we were going to be opening this before she died. And she was in the business for so long, and the first thing she said was, you guys are nuts to do 2 places. My grandmother she loved this type of pizza, thin, crispy. She loved our style, the Rochester style that we do at Gates. But this was, and my great-grandfather was from Naples. It's not a true Neapolitan pizza that we do, it's more of a American style Neapolitan. But they first would have said you're crazy because of the hours that you already put in at the main store, but they understood the dream, so yeah.
Great. So in addition to pizza here, I see that case filled with lots of other stuff. So you want to talk about what you sell here, other than the new, looks like you have stuff on the menu, barbecue ribs, pasta fagioli,
Yeah.
and beans.
Yeah. So originally, when we opened here, my plan was to only sell pizza, wings, and subs, and nothing else. But having the main store in Gates and the popularity of it, before COVID, we could do between 500 and 700 people a day coming in and dining in, and people's favorites were the greens and beans and the pasta fagioli, and some specials. The tripe it started off as a 1 day a week menu item here, and it's now we offer it every single day. That being said, yes, it turned into something more than just pizza. I don't want to get much big. Today's day and age, we have to make sure that our people that work for us are comfortable. And I know how easy it can be if you add on items and add on items. People have been asking for fish fries since we opened, and we did them during Lent, and we'll do them again during Lent. But every Friday is a struggle because the place is small, and we only have so many fryers. And I wish we could do things like that every day, but just with we're only 800 square feet, so it's very taxing. Yeah.
And how many employees do you have here?
At this location, we have 14.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's shocking to me. 500 to 700 meals, so
Yeah.
whatever. That's wow. That's
Yeah.
huge. So.
Yeah.
So if people get a taste and they want some more, they can always make the drive. It's not that far.
Nobody.
So tell us a little bit about your sourdough, the crust, the pizza dough. It sounds really intriguing. I had no idea that it's
Sure.
sourdough. Sourdough.
Yeah. So, because we come from a bakery background, Italian bread, pastries, that kind of stuff, the main base of our pizza is the dough, and the base is very important. My grandmother always said, if it wouldn't make a good loaf of bread, it wouldn't make a good pizza. That being said, we have figured the dough. We've created a dough recipe that's fermented in our walk-in coolers at our main store, and it starts with a starter, a mother, and it creates like a kind of a robust flavor. The texture is unbelievable. It's crispy, and there's a chew to it. We use a high quality flour. The fermentation of the dough, though, is very, very important to what the final product is. I actually, in the mornings, I've been testing a baguette that we've been making here at the restaurant, and the baguette that I made this morning is dough that's 6 days old. That sounds bad, not old, but 6 day fermented, and it creates such just a hearty country style crust, and it's really beautiful stuff.
So you're still kind of experimenting yourself. Recipes.
We'll always, every day. I mean, I'll try a different pepperoni, different cheese. We have our staples that we kind of use, but I always I love flavors and mixing and matching and anything to make it better. I would never make it worse with a change. Just kind of go off our palate. So.
Yeah, so you guys opened the summer of 2019? I can't remember exactly.
We opened the Wednesday after Seabreeze Amusement Park closed. So I joke with our customers in the neighborhood saying that we jinxed the entire neighborhood because we still haven't experienced the summer with the park open.
And how have you had to adjust? I mean, we're just getting started when COVID hit. So what kind of changes did you have to make or adapt?
Yeah, so we've added on curbside pickup. We have 4 spots outside of the restaurant. On a Friday and Saturday, we need way more than 4 spots, but people will wait in line. On Sunday during the Bills game, I came from Gates to this location, and I pulled up, and there was 10 cars on Culver Road in front of us. The parking lot was full. The adjacent parking lot on Lynn Drive was full, and there was 6 cars going that way down Lynn Drive, waiting to get into one of those curbside spots and get into the restaurant. Kind of backtracking, curbside, yes. Luckily, this restaurant was made for this, not because it was made for this, but just by chance. This is the style of restaurant that we wanted, and it just happened to be in our favor. So, yeah.
So, well, congratulations, and thank you so much for choosing Irondequoit.
Yeah.
Your second location, we're psyched, and I mean, it's only going to get better as we come out of this and Seabreeze opens, and I think we'll be ordering pizza.
Yeah, thanks, Alice.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
great job.
Thank you.